This is just a quick little video showing this new engine design that I'm going to be building. I saw this at Cabin Fever 2024, and I kind of fell in love with it as a really nice little beginner, I think beginner, entry level steam engine here. This will only be my second steam engine that I've ever made, so I'm pretty excited to tackle this. It's a little bit more complicated than the wobbler engine that I originally made. This engine here on the left, the one in the foreground, is as described in the book, Steam and Sterling, book number 4. I thought it might be nice just to enter it into the computer here and make sure it's dimensionally accurate as represented in the book. Make sure I understand how all the pieces fit together, what it's going to look like. I didn't bother to model the connecting rod, piston, cam lobes. That's not really the part that I'm interested in. The part I'm more interested in is kind of personalizing it and making it look a little bit more unique and some ideas that I have for the model. So this is the original engine. It has these two huge rocker arms here that flap up and down, and it's kind of an exciting movement and pretty neat to look at. It's a single cylinder, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and hide this one and take a look at the one that I started drawing up here. So I had this idea that the body of the engine, those side panels, could be a little bit more interesting to look at. I thought, I have some pretty fancy metal that I can make some of the more intricate parts, for accents and just anywhere that I want to put a little bit more attention to detail. I can use some fancy metals and have a really colorful engine here. But I thought that the body itself could use a little sprucing up. So I started to have this idea of like a construction tower, a cell phone tower, or some kind of a truss sort of system. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to have this kind of like a monocoque frame design sort of idea. And so I started designing that. Now, this isn't what my wheels will look like at all. My wheels are going to be very different, but I just threw some flywheels on here just to show. But let's go ahead and hide those flywheels. I think the flywheels I'm going to build will be a little bit more see-through than this. So some of that frame design you'll be able to see once the model is complete. But I started working on this left side here last night, and I'm really happy with how it's looking, how it's turning out. What's really neat is that this idea, originally I thought I would have to build it in panels, right? And then I would bolt the panels together with little model engineering bolts. And so I did design it in that way, so it kind of fits together here in the seams. And then you'd have just enough room to drill through here and put some bolts in there to hold everything together. And I really like the idea of making it look like there's different truss sections. It's just like how a tower is assembled. You'd have different pieces that you could bolt on there. Of course, in the end, it'd really only be one piece, but just the idea that it looks like that I thought would be kind of interesting. But it occurred to me this morning that actually there's not really a reason to do that, because this model is only 2 inches wide, and I believe it's only about 1.75 inches tall. Yeah, it's about 1 3/8 there, but you have these little wings right up here that'll stick out. So I think it's about 1.75 inches tall. So some 2x2 inch aluminum bar is going to be perfect. What I can do is, if I just go ahead and hide this section and hide the cylinder, which will be made out of brass, I basically just have a C channel here. I can just get some 2 inch by 2 inch bar, maybe a little bit taller to account for the legs here, but and I can mill in all my critical dimensions with the crankshaft, the rocker arms, how the cylinder actually mounts to this. All that can be done as a bar. And then I can do all my decorative milling on the side of that bar, back of the bar, front of the bar. And once it's all done, I just go in there and mill it out to a C channel. I think that's going to work really, really well. I'm pretty excited about that idea. So I thought I would just give a little show and tell here of what's coming up on the channel, and pretty happy with the design. It's still in progress. I still have some more ideas I want to flesh out before I start going on it, and some of the dimensions don't quite work. Don't quite work entirely. As I was designing it, I didn't see this little interference hit on the crank webs there, so that's clearly not going to work. But these are just minor details that we can address and make sure everything's going to fit before jumping into the model building. But yeah, this is called a slant engine because it's on a slant, and I think this is going to be pretty fun. Stay tuned.